book is Belle reading at the beginning of Beauty and the Beast? Well, come on, let's talk about it. Hey guys, welcome to The Fangirl. I'm your hostess McGann, and today's video is thanks to Widow Miguel on Instagram, who suggested this idea like well over a year ago. It really takes me forever to get most videos done, but all of us know the big opening song in Beauty and the Beast, Little Town, It's a Quiet Village. You know, that one where Belle goes around loudly discussing how she's too good to interact with most of her neighbors. So she tells everybody through song in third-person format how she would rather read books and daydream because that's so much more interesting than anyone around her. No wonder the entire town insults her behind her back. Or, I guess face too, really. Belle's not listening either way. It almost makes me wonder if Belle is not actually French, like maybe she's German or English and she can read French better than she can speak it. And that would account for why she pretty much ignores everyone who is scream singing about what a weirdo she is all around her. But that's a whole different theory for a different day. But back to the song Belle. Essentially, Belle herself walks into the local bookshop and tries to borrow the same book for the third time in a row, explaining that it's her favorite because it has far-off places, daring sword fights, magic spells, a prince in disguise. And after hearing that compelling argument, the kindly old shopkeeper lets Belle keep that book for no charge. So as far as we know, for the rest of the song Belle, that is the only book that Belle has in her possession. Which means Belle has to be reading that favorite book of hers at the fountain when she says, "Oh, isn't this amazing? It's my favorite part because you'll see. Here's where she meets Prince Charming, but she won't discover that until chapter 3. Yeah, it's really weird how many of my Disney videos turn into try not to sing videos. I'm weak. However, as far as the book goes, I don't know if those two little descriptions really give us enough to figure it out, but it does give us some boxes to check. So what we know for a fact is that this book includes far-off places, daring sword fights, magic spells, and a girl who meets someone that turns out to be Prince Charming by chapter 3. The only other clue we get is this picture in the book that says Le Prince Charmant. And while it's possible that this book is called Le Prince Charmant, when combined with all the context clues in the song Belle, I really believe that that's just a caption for the picture. When we're seeing that picture, what we're actually hearing is here's where she meets Prince Charming, but she won't discover that until chapter 3. So what it sounds like to me is that Le Prince Charmant is what the caption is for that illustration. It's just letting us know that the prince has physically appeared into the story. So let's get into this. What story could this be? Well, one possibility is Snow White, which seems to most closely resemble the picture in the book. That is definitely a dead ringer for Snow White's castle, and the princess is very fair-skinned with really dark hair. And Snow White could check off the box for magic spells, but daring sword fights? Not really. The prince really isn't even much of a character in Snow White. He shows up at the beginning, and then he lazily strolls in at the end to collect Snow White, and that's it. We never see him fight anybody or do much of anything, really. Plus, even though Snow White acts sort of afraid of the prince at the beginning of the movie, there is no reason for us to assume that she is not aware that he's a prince. So even though Snow White seems to be the best visual fit, we can really rule that out as an option. Another possibility is that Belle is reading Sleeping Beauty. We can definitely check the boxes there for sword fights, magic spells, and the prince not revealing his title when he first meets Aurora, but far-off places? It's really hard to pinpoint where exactly Sleeping Beauty is set because some people say it's Germany, some people say it's France, but either way, it is not that different or far from France where Belle is right now. Which means Sleeping Beauty is not very likely to be the candidate here either. Now, potential match number 3 is Aladdin, and that's nearly a perfect fit. Far-off places, Agrabah, which in Belle's era, there was a real fixation in Europe for all sorts of Middle Eastern culture. The story that Aladdin originally came from was actually one of the most popular of its time in Europe because it was so different. Then daring sword fights, and yeah, we can check that box off a few times over. Magic spells, oh, just a few dozen or so. And a prince in disguise, well, that one is a little bit more tricky. If you go into the extended Aladdin universe, we find out eventually in Aladdin and the King of Thieves that Aladdin's dad is the King of Thieves, making Aladdin the Prince of Thieves, so technically he's a prince, but it's more like a mafia style of prince and not a real actual prince with a kingdom and a throne and all that. So it's a stretch, but it could still count. However, with Beauty and the Beast releasing in 1991 and Aladdin being released in 1992, it's also kind of doubtful that Disney was thinking ahead to 1996 when Aladdin and the King of Thieves would release. Plus, Aladdin and the King of Thieves was created by Walt Disney Television Animation, which is an entirely separate studio that does a whole bunch of different things and has different creative teams. And that all boils down to say that Aladdin really should not check the box for Prince in Disguise during the era that Beauty and the Beast is being made. Although re-examining the bit where Belle says here's where she meets Prince Charming, but she won't discover that until chapter 3 might make Aladdin work again. A prince is a term like a king, a pauper, a grocer. However, Prince Charming is typically not used in a literal sense that this is the prince of the kingdom. It just tends to mean that this is the ideal person for me. So in that regard, Aladdin could check off the Prince in Disguise box. There's also that notation about chapter 3, so if Aladdin and Jasmine meet in chapter 1, chapter 2 would be the Cave of Wonders and meeting Genie, and then chapter 3 would be where Prince Ali comes to Agrabah. Meaning, theoretically, Aladdin is still the best fit for what book Belle is reading. You know, just so long as we ignore the picture of Prince Charming being this blonde dude. And I gotta say, in most theories, I would call this case closed, the answer is Aladdin, let's move on to the next thing. Except, I happen to run across a fourth option that is very, very interesting. What if Belle's actually reading Beauty and the Beast? Disney Music Theory on Twitter presented this incredible argument for what the book is based on the music heard throughout the movie. Now, full disclosure here, I can certainly pick up on what they're putting down auditorily, but my reading sheet music ended in the 8th grade, so I'm probably gonna flub up or misuse a lot of terminology moving forward. You've been warned, don't complain about it. But to try and summarize, when Belle sings about her favorite book, there's a particular combination of notes that play. Disney Music Theory describes it as the meta theme. Then later in the song Something There, as Belle is starting to recognize her feelings for the Beast, we hear those same notes pop up again. So instead of, oh, isn't this amazing? It's my favorite part because you'll see. Those same notes are now used to sing new and a bit alarming. Who'd have ever thought that this would be true? That he's no Prince Charming, but there's something in him that I simply didn't see. Something like that. But how have I sung my heart out to that song for 30 years and not realized that those two music snippets are the same notes with different lyrics? Disney Music Theory then goes on to pick out how that meta theme pops up all over the movie. When the Beast gets melancholy and says, "She'll never see me as anything more but a monster," a little bit of that meta theme plays, and even though Belle and the Beast have absolutely no feelings for each other at that point, remember, earlier, when Belle is singing about her book, she tells us here's where she meets Prince Charming, but she won't discover that until chapter 3. You can't just say it halfway, you gotta say the whole thing. But that just goes to prove that hearing the meta theme at that moment in the movie is showing us that the Beast is Prince Charming, but Belle doesn't know yet. So Belle is actually the oblivious she that she talks about in her book. That meta theme pops up again after Belle cleans the Beast's wounds after the whole wolf attack incident, but we don't get the full arc of the song because Belle is still not emotionally there yet. She's not in love yet. It's like the movie is trying to give us hints of these growing romantic embers, but we don't get the full meta theme yet. Even during the song Something There, we don't get the full meta theme until Belle really starts singing about the Beast. So before Belle really submits to her feeling and lets that song come out of her lips or mind or however exactly that worked, we only get little bits of the meta theme as we see this montage of Belle and the Beast doing more together and her liking him more and vice versa. So when Belle starts singing the new and a bit alarming part, that's when she's fully embracing her feelings and making the connection that her favorite book is her life. And as Disney Music Theory puts it, the background music isn't just there to be pretty, it foreshadows, drives, and develops the narrative. And that is so true and something that I've never fully considered when making theories before, so whew, mind blown. And so there you have it, my final answer is that Belle is actually reading her favorite book, which is some other version of Beauty and the Beast. And that is definitely the most meta Disney moment ever since LeFou disguised himself as a snowman, only to have Olaf the Snowman play LeFou in the live-action movie. So thank you to Disney Music Theory for doing all of this hard work, and thank you as well to Widow Miguel on Instagram for motivating me to explore this topic. It might not be reality, but this theory should be a facty. The only other clue we get is this picture in the book that says Le Prince Charmant. The only other clue we get is this picture in the book that says The only other clue we get is this picture in the book that is The only other clue we get is this picture in the book that says Le Prince Charmant. Le Prince Charmant. Le Prince Charmant. Or Le Prince Charmant, if he is from Appalachia. See, we try not to speak with our mouths and tongues here, it's all in the front of the lip. Now, full disclosure. But to try and summarize, when Belle sings about her favorite book, there's a particular combination of notes that play. So instead of, oh, isn't this amazing? I am so often bad. True, that he's no Prince Charming, but there's something in him that I simply didn't see. Something like that. And after hearing that compelling argument, the kindly old shopkeeper. Well, family members, we're almost done, but I want to invite you to hang out with me in some other places. I'm on Twitter and Instagram as my own personal self, and I have a Facebook page too, but I mostly just post photos over there. And sometimes people say, hey McGann, I want to mail you something. How do I do that? Easy. Just click the About tab on my channel page, and my most current P.O. Box info will be right there. I also run another channel, The Fanily. It's really a hodgepodge channel where we might post anything. Oh yeah, and I also sell shirts and stickers and stuff with the Fanily and the Fangirl logos. If that is your cup of tea, I have a link in every description of every video. Finally, if you want to help out the Fangirl channel and make sure I'm putting out video essays for years to come, the best way you can help is by subscribing and watching more of my videos, whether they're new, old, whatever. Maybe even share one or two on social media, help spread the word. People who watch to the end of videos like you helps to tell the site, hey, this is a good video, we should recommend it to other people. So if you made it this far, leave me a comment of something like, hey, I made it to the end. Love ya. See you next time, family members. Bye.